Hey folks, I'm Robert Ranitzky and I'm the director of the Tokame opening title sequence. I would like to walk you through some of the things that we did to create this film. It was really awesome to work with some talented friends and artists like Daniel Henjes, Michael Münch, Andi Thoma and Michael Farkas. We spent a lot of time thinking about the concept and how to match this year's topic, Dream Big. We had ideas of showing a sleeping girl that is dreaming of creativity and ideas. For inspiration, we looked at a lot of images containing lights and projections and then created a mood board with some of our favorites. Our vision was to only illuminate the sleeping girl's face by projecting artwork from each of the artists that is speaking at the Tokame conference. We carefully had to curate all the artwork from the artists to find something that would work as a projection setup. Each of the artwork was turned into a black and white image with a raster effect to make it more like a projection. We also added some chromatic aberration and some imperfections. Daniel Henjes created this amazing 3D scan of this girl's face that we used to be able to go into a macro level of detail. Phil Amelung cleaned up the 3D scan using ZBrush. All the 3D animation was done in Cinema 4D. And we wanted to base everything on the real world, so for example we used only focal lengths that would really exist. Daniel made a setup for Cinema 4D that allowed us to use the artwork and project it onto the face of the girl and let it illuminate by using global illumination. Before we even rendered a single frame, we quickly created an animatic that we can send off for editing and also music creation. Michael Münch worked with the animatic on the edit that we could then use to define the final length, but also send it over to Andi and Michael for music creation. For the musical part, we gave Andi and Michael a few cool tracks that we like and thought will work really well for this piece. All they had to work with at the beginning was a rough animatic, but with each frame we gave them, the music as well as the visuals grew together to become the final piece it is right now. When it came to render, we found out that the average frame took between 1 and 1.5 hours to render, but some frames were even going up to 4 hours to render. So it was really tricky, but thankfully Google Cloud Platform supported us, offering us ZyncRender as a rendering solution. So we could use up to 500 machines with a total of 16,000 cores to render all the frames and to really pull this off in time. After we finished rendering all the frames, it was time for compositing. We used After Effects to composite all the shots. By using SceneAware, we could extract the Cinema 4D camera as well as a null object that was used as a particle emitter source. Particular was used to create floating dust specks. The separate volumetrics pass was used as a mask for all the particles, so they are only visible in the volumetric light. Then we adjusted the particle size, so everything was matching the original camera movement that we created in Cinema 4D. Multipass layers, especially the depth channel, allowed us to create a depth of field effect in After Effects even after rendering, so we could really focus on certain areas. So we used Frischluft Lenskerp to create the macro level depth of field that we wanted to have. Then we added a lot of camera imperfections like chromatic aberrations and several blurs to give it the final look. For the final shot, we wanted her to wake up. So we filmed her eyes and then we projected that source material onto the 3D object. So when she wakes up, we will see that she will open her eyes, but actually everything is just a projection. Overall, this was an amazing and fun project to work on, especially having so much creative freedom and being able to work with so many talented artists on this.